Hey, acupuncturist, I want to ask you a question. Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in the power of your medicine? Now, be honest and reflect. Be honest with yourself because I don't think that I consciously realized it or would have admitted it to myself, but I can see now that when I graduated and started my clinic, I had a lot of doubts and insecurity. And it's ironic and surprising because I found our medicine because I had experienced the power of it firsthand when I had digestive issues and period problems. Doctors said, like, nothing's wrong. And I was like, something's wrong. Found acupuncture. It helped me so much. I immediately quit my job and started acupuncture school. So I had experienced it firsthand. And yet, as I faced graduation and starting my own clinic, fear took over. And I was thinking, oh my God, does this even work? Have I invested $100,000 in student loan debt in something that doesn't actually work? I was super freaked and insecure. And so I think, as an aside, I'm going on a little tangent here, but I think it's worthwhile saying that I think that it's it's understandable that our graduates have that doubt. When I did a survey of over 200 acupuncturists, asking them on average how many acupuncture treatments it takes to see a significant result with their patients for a list of various different conditions. And on average, acupuncturists said it takes 8 to 10 treatments on average, sometimes 10 to 12 treatments for certain conditions to make a significant improvement in someone's symptoms. So, and at least at the school I went to and the school I teach at, students are limited to seeing the same patient only 6 times. And I can understand why they do that, because you want students to get a variety. You don't want them to just treat the same person all the time. You want them to get their hands on a variety of different conditions, different people. So I understand why they do that, but they should probably increase that limit to 8 or 10 or 12 treatments, because if it takes on average, based on a survey of acupuncturists, 8 to 10 treatments to see a difference in someone's symptoms, are our students graduating having never actually witnessed, like, wow, the huge transformational power of their medicine? That is so sad. And of course, then we're graduating people who are like, oh my gosh, like, does this even work? And am I an okay healer? Like, can I do this? If they're not experiencing that transformation and witnessing it themselves, then of course we're graduating people with these doubts. So schools, if you're listening, I think we should change that. I had that doubt, and I think it's normal for us to have these insecurities. And it manifested in different ways. So it manifested in a ton of different ways, such as when I would tell my patients when they need to come back again, I'd be vague. I'd let them decide, or I wouldn't make a recommendation at all for fear of being wrong or being seen as a fraud or a failure. So I'd say something like, let's give it 3 treatments and then decide if acupuncture is right for you. Let's give it 3 treatments and see how you're doing, and then we'll reevaluate. Which I think a lot of people do, and is not the right thing to say, because you're not, a doctor doses their medicine and tells you how many pills to take. They're not like, take it whenever you want, however many you want. There's like a real frequency and dosage that's crucial to getting results with acupuncture. And unfortunately, we are not teaching this in schools, and it's really sad. We need to be teaching how to effectively dose our medicine. But this doubt was self-sabotaging. I think, I didn't know how to effectively dose my medicine because I hadn't been taught it, but my fear was holding me back, and it felt safer to not risk failure, I think subconsciously it feels safer to not risk putting my medicine to the actual test and giving it a real go, right? Because I didn't want to know, after devoting years in school and $100,000 in debt. I probably subconsciously didn't want to know if it didn't work. So maybe I was subconsciously not putting it to a real test by saying, here's how many treatments I think it's going to take. Let's give it a real go. It felt safer to self-sabotage and be like, I don't know. When do you want to come back? Or let's give it 3 treatments and then see. You know what I mean? It was like a refusal to give people. Does that make sense? Your dose as a way to prevent myself or my medicine from being a fair shot, And if you don't believe in what you're doing, then that feels safer, right? So, then rather risk it possibly not working. But this was doing my patients a huge disservice by not giving them a real chance, a actual therapeutic dosage of my medicine with frequent enough treatments and enough number of treatments to make a real difference for them. So I was failing them. And I think that when acupuncture patients come to us and you say to them like, oh, let's give it 3 treatments. And then you're like, yeah, I don't know, maybe we can't help. They're not going to go see another acupuncturist. They're going to think acupuncture doesn't work, or acupuncture didn't work for me. You're like dooming them to Western medicine because they're going to think acupuncture doesn't work because you didn't step into leadership. I didn't step into that expert role and say, here's when I need to see you again. And here's how many treatments I'm estimating it will take. And here's what to expect. I was failing to step into that role of expert, which I think is a really hard transition after school. But we need to do, and it takes, because I had that doubt. And I realize now it takes courage. It takes like Brene Brown style, vulnerability in the face of uncertainty. It risks failure. That's what it takes to say, I don't know if I can help, but I think we can. I have hope. And here's what it's going to take. Here's my plan for what I think we should do to help you. It takes vulnerably stepping up with courage in the face of uncertainty. It does, by having confidence, I don't mean you got to say like, oh, no problem, 100%, all your answers are solved, I'm God's gift. No, like that's arrogance. That's not confidence. Confidence is like, even with self-doubt, saying, you can say, I've never treated this before. I don't know. I've never treated lupus before. I don't know, but I think we can help. And here's what it's going to take. And here's what my plan is for helping you. And you see the difference. You don't have to be arrogant. You can still be like honest. I don't know, but here's what I think it's going to take, like leadership and effectively dosing your medicine. So over time, I did learn to trust myself and have confidence with myself and my medicine. It is something I learned. Largely, I learned this from my patients, from like my patients who themselves, even in the face of me being like, yeah, I don't know, they would be like, okay, well, I'm coming back. Through seeing them and the results they got, I learned like, whoa, okay, I can do this. And wow, my medicine really does work. This is awesome. And I slowly learned to have confidence. I also discovered an amazing books about Da, which is an ancient Taoist principle called Da, which is kind of like Wu Wei's sister. A lot of people have heard of Wu Wei. And this concept of, this ancient concept of building charisma and confidence. And the idea that really helped me is knowing that it's not something you either are born with, like Maybelline. Maybe you're just born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. It's not something you're just like born with or have or don't have, the way I had always thought of confidence, because I'm not naturally a confident person. If you went to graduate school with me, I like never wanted to raise my hand, would like die if I was called on in school, do not want to risk being like wrong, and do not have confidence in myself having all the answers. And it doesn't come naturally to me, but this gave me a lot of insight that like, wow, this is actually something I can learn to cultivate and to communicate, that it's actually a communication event, not just something you either have or don't have. So I learned it from my patients, and I learned this concept, and I love to teach acupuncturists this concept because I think it's so important and they love it, and it's really inspiring and really helpful. So if you're new to my world, I haven't introduced myself yet. If you're new to my world, I'm Katie Altnew. I'm an acupuncturist with a clinic in Denver. And I am also the business teacher at CSTCM and the founder of acuprosper.com, where I teach acupuncturists how to start their clinics with confidence and how to grow their clinics and attract more patients with authenticity. And I've been in practice for 9 years, teaching business for 8.5 years at CSTCM. And everything I teach is based on my own experience, things I've implemented and tested and seen actually work and feel good also. So I really do believe that you've got to believe in yourself and work on cultivating your confidence. But I think that saying like, oh, you've got to believe in yourself isn't totally accurate and can be disempowering, because belief doesn't necessarily leave room for uncertainty. And I want you to know that self-doubt and uncertainty are just, for most of us, part of the process and journey. And I don't want acupuncturists, I see so many acupuncturists being like, well, first I've got to just like work on myself and visualize and getting clarity and confidence before I can even like start to learn how to market my practice. And the truth is that I don't think that sitting and thinking is the key, is the answer to this. The antidote to these is getting your hands on people and stepping into action. And that is how you learn to believe in yourself, getting your hands on people too, right? And like seeing, oh my gosh, our medicine actually works. I remember in my first year of practice, patients getting better and me being like shocked, like, what? You feel better? Oh my God, amazing. And with time, you realize you learn to believe in yourself and your medicine. But I think we should speed that process up, graduate people who've seen those results and feel confidence. And I also want to share with more acupuncturists how to cultivate and communicate confidence and that self-worth and step into that trust, because it really helped me and was transformational for me. So it really, there's a difference between being like, I've got all the answers and that big ego, and saying like, I'm not sure, but I think we can help, and here's what it's going to take. And the difference is courage. Brene Brown style, it takes vulnerability in the face of uncertainty of an outcome, but to still really show up. It takes vulnerability and it takes courage and bravely risking failure. And with time, it gets easier. As you see your medicine work again and again, it gets easier to say, I'm not sure, but I think we can help. Never treated this before, but I think we can help. And here's what it's going to take. And it's just like, flight attendants. If they're freaked out with turbulence, everyone on the plane is going to be like super freaked out. But they're the leaders. If they're calm, everyone else is going to be like, I think we're okay. I think we're not going to die. As the acupuncturist and the leader and the expert, if you don't have hope and you're like, I don't know, might not work, let's give it one try and see, then at no point is your patient going to have hope and show up and reschedule. But if you say, I don't know, but I think we can, and I'm willing to risk failure, and I have courage and vulnerability, and I think I have hope in you, and I think you deserve a fair shot, they are going to say, okay, let's do it. I feel that way too. You are the leader. So it's crucial that you build trust with people. And, and there's different ways to do this. This is also true, building trust and confidence is not just true in the treatment room. It's also true in your marketing, building that authority. And there's easy ways to do this. Quick, easy ways off the top of my head are specific condition-specific testimonials and reviews on your website that tell a story and let people know, oh yeah, this person can help with that. Condition-specific pages on your website showing that you're an expert in certain conditions. And in the treatment room, it comes down to how you communicate. And you can learn to communicate with confidence. And I love to teach this ancient Taoist principle of duh. It also helps me to just take the focus off of myself. It's not about myself or my ego. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, whatever. What really matters to me is helping this person, is contributing to the world, is trying to make the world a better place, this person's life better, and risk my own personal ego failure to try to contribute to the world being a better place, right? That connecting with my why and that purpose really helps get rid of my, dissolve my ego and fear. And it takes courage and the desire to make the world a better place. And getting your hands on people. The more people you treat, you'll be blown away by our medicine. And you'll see that you, like little imperfect you and me, with so much more to learn, which is something I love about our medicine, we could be alive like 2,000 years and have more to learn. Even we can effectively harness the power of this medicine. Absolutely. So I want you to believe in yourself. I also, though, want you to know that if you have self-doubt and uncertainty, you are not alone and you are absolutely okay, and to have courage in the face of that. Yeah. Okay. And if I could talk about this for so long, I get really fired up about this. If you want to know more, definitely join my VIP list by going to acuprosper.com and downloading my top 10 tips. And then you'll be on my email list. I'll let you know when my course opens back up. Okay, cool. Thanks so much. And keep doing what you're doing because the world needs you.